Welcome to Every Fact Ever. Like and subscribe for more amazing facts. My name is Ian, and this is 50 Facts About Norse Mythology, written by Diva Stipulai. Fact number 1. Norse mythology is a tested dialect of Old Norse spoken by Scandinavians in the Middle Ages. The majority of these Norse texts were produced in Iceland. Fact number 2. Old Norse texts, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda, were both written in the 13th century. Prose Edda is also known as the Younger Edda. It's written by an Icelandic scholar, Snorri Sturluson, and is the most detailed source of modern knowledge of the Germanic mythology. Poetic Edda, on the other hand, is a collection of poems from earlier traditional material anonymously compiled. Fact number 3. Norse mythology stemmed from Norse paganism, which was developed around the 2nd century, but records of the Norse mythology only occurred primarily in the 13th century. Fact number 4. Thor's first appearance in the Marvel comic universe was in August 1962, and he has been featured in 116 different volumes since. Thor has been one of the longest running superheroes for the company, and has starred in several ongoing series, as well as a large number of limited series and specials. Fact number 5. In Norse mythology, Odin is the Nordic counterpart of Zeus from Greek mythology, which means that he is the father of all of the gods. Odin has only one eye, since he traded his other eye for a drink from the Well of Wisdom to gain immense knowledge. Fact number 6. The most popular god among the Scandinavians and across the globe is everybody's favourite buff blonde god, Thor. Thor is a hammer-wielding god associated with thunder, lightning, storms, oak trees and strength. Fact number 7. One of the most successful TV shows of our time, Game of Thrones, was heavily influenced by Norse mythology. Its producers have openly admitted that the North European folklore has been a central source of their inspiration behind the show. Fact number 8. The Vikings is a popular ongoing historical drama television series with a plot that is heavily based on Norse mythology and folklore, and is currently in its 5th season. The characters often have visions of Odin and pray to several Norse gods, such as Thor and Freyr. Fact number 9. The Valkyries were female figures who got to choose who would die and who would live on the battlefield. They would go to retrieve the fallen warriors from the battlefields at the end of the battle, and they would take their bodies to Valhalla. Interestingly, during World War II, a team of Germans plotting to overthrow Hitler named their secret plan Operation Valkyrie. Fact number 11. Contrary to popular belief, Norse mythology has been a real religion to a lot of people in Scandinavian countries and Central Europe, and still to this very day. In Iceland, they tend to call it Ásatru, although it's called Odinism in America. Fact number 11. The popular video game 2 Human was released in 2008 and has a storyline heavily influenced by Norse mythology. The game interpreted Norse gods as cybernetically enhanced humans. Fact number 12. Odin's wife, Frigg, is by far the most famous Norse goddess. She represents marriage and motherhood. It's also been speculated that she supposedly knows every person's destiny, but refuses to reveal the details to anyone. Fact number 13. Odin's grandfather, Buri, sprang from salt stones that were constantly licked by a cow. Buri is considered to be the first Asgardian, father of Bor, grandfather of Odin, Vili and Vi. Fact number 14. Bifrost is the bridge separating Midgard, the realm of humans, from Asgard, the realm of gods. It is made by 3 colours, red, blue and green, and is the only way to enter Asgard. Fact number 15. Norse myth had a god of vengeance named Vidar. Vidar is famous in Norse mythology for avenging his father's Odin's death at Ragnarok by killing the wolf Fenrir. Fact number 16. In the afterlife, according to Norse mythology, the dead would either go to a murky realm of hell, be ferried away by Valkyries to Odin's martial hall Valhalla, or be chosen by the goddess Freyja to dwell in her field Folkvangna. The answer to why there are different paths to the afterlife and who really chooses who goes where still remains a mystery. Fact number 17. In some Norse texts, the goddess Ran can claim those who died at sea. On the other hand, the goddess Guffian is said to be linked with ploughing, agriculture and fertility in Norse mythology. Fact number 18. In Norse mythology, there's an apocalyptic battle at the end of time called Ragnarok. This is a battle between the gods and giants. It almost destroys all life forms and leaves the other 9 worlds in a slaughtered state. Fact number 19. Richard Wagner's The Ring of Nibelungs was influenced by Norse mythology. It was reflected in the literary themes in his composition of the 4 operas that make up his epic drama. Fact number 20. J.R.R. Tolkien has admitted that The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings have clear references to Norse mythology. For example, Gandalf the Wizard takes his name and appearance from the Norse figures such as Odin. Fact number 21. Tuesday is named after the Norse god of war and justice, Tri. However, French, Spanish and Italian languages, Tuesday is named after Mars and the Greco-Roman god of war. Fact number 22. According to Norse mythology, the first human couple wasn't Adam and Eve, but was Ask and Embla. The man Ask was made from an ash tree, and while his partner Embla was made from an elm tree. Fact number 23. In Norse mythology, Ratatoskr was a squirrel whose sole job was to carry insulting messages between a great eagle and a dragon. The eagle and dragon were at opposite ends of Yggdrasil, the great world tree. Fact number 24. Loki gave birth to an 8-legged horse. Loki gave birth to an 8-legged horse named Sleipnir after mating with a stallion. He disguised himself as a mare on heat and mated with a stallion named Slardiafari, and their offspring became the best horse among gods and men. Fact number 25. The dwarves created a magical chain to shackle the wolf Fenrir. Fenrir was a huge and unstoppable creature that was destined to kill Odin. The chain was made up of sound of a cat's footfall, and the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, bear's sinews, fish's breath, and a bird's spittle. Fact number 26. Odin rode Sleipnir, the 8-legged flying horse, and was considered a precursor to Santa Claus. In the winter, Odin gave out both gifts and punishment, and children would fill their boots or stockings with treats for Sleipnir. Fact number 27. According to Norse mythology, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, was originally intended to be wielded by both hands. Loki harassed the dwarven brothers Sindri and Brock while they were forging their weapon, resulting in the hammer's short handle. Fact number 28. Thor once dressed as a bride and was presented to the giant Thrym, with Loki as his bridesmaid. Thrym got a bit suspicious when Thor ate an entire ox, ate salmon, and drank many barrels of mead. Fact number 29. During the events of Ragnarok, a ship named Nagfar carried hordes to the battlefield to battle the gods. The ship was entirely made of untrimmed nails of the dead. Fact number 30. Valhalla is just one of the halls that the dead Viking warriors can go to if they have fallen on the battlefield. Half of the fallen are chosen by Odin for Valhalla, the other half are chosen by Freyja for Folkvagner, a meadow-like place. Fact number 31. Surprisingly, Vikings used to give kittens to new brides as an essential part of their new household. Kittens were associated with Freyja, the goddess of love. Fact number 32. In Norse mythology, a fylgja is a spirit that accompanies a person who is in connection with their fate or fortune. In some instances, the fylgja will take on the form of an animal that shows itself after the birth of a child. Fact number 33. During Ragnarok, Odin's son, Vidar, avenges his father by killing the wolf Fenrir using a giant boot. Vidar tears Fenrir's jaw open with a giant boot made from the spare parts of every shoe ever made. Fact number 34. Loki played an odd and quite literally an out-of-this-world game of tug-of-war with a goat. He tied one end of the rope to a goat and the other end around his testicles. Fact number 35. The Norse gods had unlimited bacon, and this was courtesy of a pig named Sarimnir. Sarimnir provides food for Aesir and Einherjar in the feasting halls of Valhalla. Fact number 36. Odin kept the head of Myrra and used herbs to prevent it from rotting. When war broke out between the Aesir and Venner, Myrra, the god that was most respected for wisdom and intellect in Aesir, was killed and beheaded. Fact number 37. There is actually a Norse god for skiers and is named Ullr. His favourite sport is chasing game with a bow and arrow through the mountains at speed on skis. Fact number 38. Aegir is the god of oceans and ruler of all sea creatures in Norse mythology. He also brewed ale for the gods and held elaborate parties. Fact number 39. The Norse gods have an endless supply of beer. The Vikings believed that the giant goat named Hiram, whose udders provided an endless supply of beer, are waiting for them in Valhalla upon their death. Fact number 40. Dragons known as lindworms exist in Norse mythology. The dragons had 2 front arms, as opposed to the full 4 arms found in Asian cultures. Fact number 41. Odin and his brothers created a new world out of Ymir's body parts. Ymir was the very first being and was responsible for all life that followed. Fact number 42. Odin was a master of disguise. Throughout Norse lore, Odin had nearly 200 aliases and was often in some sort of new disguise. Sometimes he named himself according to how he looked, other times he just picked a random name based on the situation. Fact number 43. According to legend, Odin's resting place was on Olsamester, an Estonian island in the Gulf of Finland. The Swedish name for the island, Odensholm, reflects the name Odin. Fact number 44. Freyja was one of the chief goddesses in the Norse pantheon and ruled over Folkvagner. Folkvagner was one of 2 places slain Viking warriors went after their deaths. Fact number 45. As punishment for scheming to kill Balder, Loki was imprisoned in a cave with a giant snake. The snake dripped its venom on Loki, causing him to convulse so badly the earth shook, and this was the Norse explanation for earthquakes. Fact number 46. When Balder started to have premonitions of his death, Frigg demanded that all things animate and inanimate in Asgard swore their oath to never hurt Balder, leaving him impervious to harm. Only mistletoe was left out. The ever mischievous Loki tricked Frigg into telling him what might cause Balder harm. When mistletoe was revealed, Loki indirectly killed Balder by throwing a stick of mistletoe at him. Fact number 47. Loki was the father to an odd brood of 3 children. With his partner, the giantess Amborga, Loki had 3 offsprings, a wolf-like creature named Femra, a serpent named Jormungand, and Hel, goddess of the underworld. Fact number 48. Construction of the first Norse temple began almost 1,000 years ago. The temple, which was built in Reykjavik, Iceland, was built by members of Ásatúarfélagið, a pagan advocate group that currently has almost 2,400 members. Fact number 49. The Queen of England is apparently Thor's descendant. Early Germanic chronicles trace the ancestry of Cedric of Gemwise back to Odin, the father of Norse gods, which makes Elizabeth II a descendant of Cedric through the House of Wessex. Fact number 50. Hel was one of the goddesses of the underworld and was Loki's daughter. Hel appeared to be a beautiful woman above the waist, but below the waist she was a rotting corpse. And that was 50 facts about Norse mythology. Thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe for more amazing facts. If you still haven't had your fact fix for today, try watching some of these videos. And if you have any suggestions for topics you'd like us to cover, please leave a comment down below.